091-9404. That line is also available for WhatsApp messages. And if you are sending as a text or a WhatsApp chat, please remember to include your name and where you are sending your contribution from. Also, log on to our website on www.iGetRadioTV.com to listen to us. You may download the iGet Radio and TV app from Google Play Store to also access our content. Also on Radio Garden and social media platforms, we're available on them to serve you. We'll take a short break, and once we are back, our engagement here in the studio will continue. Please stay tuned, dear listener. Thank you very much for staying tuned, dear listener, and welcome back from that short break. Doctor, going forward, which direction should government tilt its policies to bring down prices so that the consumer will be at the minimum end of affording what the trader is putting out there?
Yeah, thank you very much.
This should be short-term measures.
Yeah, every consumer wants to have value for the little income he or she is having. And his ability to have value is attached to the price of goods and services in the market. And in economic terms, we call that changes in prices, general change in prices, rise. We call it inflation. When the prices are on the rise, we're talking about inflation. And the question you just asked is that how will government be able to curtail inflation in the short term so that consumers will have value for their income? Inflation is a very delicate thing to handle, and over time it was believed to be a monetary phenomenon, and it was on the basis of that that the responsibility of stability of price of goods and services in the market were anchored within the responsibility and ambient of central banks globally to handle. So central banks are given the mandate to ensure that prices of goods and services in the market are stable, so that consumers will be able to have value for their money. If you want to look at curtailing inflation in the short term, there are a few things that you must have to look into. When you believe that your inflation is a monetary issue, you have to control your money supply. But when you believe that your inflation is a function of other structural imbalances in the economy that is constituting the inflation, now it is the responsibility of government using other agencies of government to try to redirect the structural imbalances. One of the structural imbalances that we're discussing in the studio here is the issue of food production. The price of food is increasing, not because there's too much money in the economy, but simply because the supply dynamics of the food side is not equating to the demand of the food, given that certain structures are not in place to make us produce. So, increase agricultural output in the short term. And how do you do that? Deal with issue of insecurity decisively is what you can be able to do with your security, your armed forces within a given period of time, so that farmers can go back to the farm and produce food for the country. We have never had this cost of food in the country before, because every day people are running away from their farms, including our state. Therefore, when you're able to do that, food will be available. However, we don't only survive on food. There are other exigencies, other items are also necessities that we produce and even import. Because several factories are not available in our country, but we desire those items that are produced. Cars, electronics, several other things are not in this country. Even those that are here, the raw materials are imported. Therefore, another side that increases the cost is the cost of exchange rate. How do you do that? You need to reduce that exchange rate. You can do what is called a managed floating exchange rate system, where you put a threshold that your exchange rate must not go above. That is giving stability to your currency. Why you give that peg, which is what you have done, and know that beyond that peg, the price of the exchange rate is harmful for the economy. But below this peg, it is reasonably okay for the country, for the economy to thrive. Now, when you do that, you now get involved into middle term arrangement where sectors that you realize that what are my import bills in these sectors, do sectoral analysis. Which sector of the economy that consume more import bills? That means which sector that demand most for my exchange rate. Now, do deliberate economic policies that incentivize setting up or production of those items that will produce most, that will import most locally. And in long term, you realize that the demand for exchange rate in those sectors is taken away. And that is what we're talking about in the petroleum sector. The importation of PMS takes about 35% pressure on exchange rate. So imagine that Dangote and Port Harcourt refinery has eliminated our demand for exchange rate for importation of PMS. What that means is that the pressure on exchange rate will be reduced by 35%. When you be able to successfully do that in PMS, look for another sector that is demanding so much of that. Then focus on it and ensure domestic production of such goods up to 70%. Even if we are importing just about 30%, over time we can have that ability to do more than that and even export the particular product. So when you eliminate the issue of cost of food, eliminate the issue of the exchange rate, and now you begin to look at cost of capital, you discover that in the short term, you are able to lower inflation in your economy. When you address the issue of insecurity for farmers to go to the farm, you address the issue of your exchange rate, pegging at a reasonable rate that will not harm output of goods and services. Then you're now looking at the cost of capital that is reasonable enough for businessmen to get capital and invest within your economy to produce those items that you are importing. It becomes reasonable for you to say, in the short term, I can handle issues, reduce all this at that level. Because you must have to address the root cause of your price dynamics. When you jump from the root cause and come all the way to to the last chain, where it's between the trader and the last consumer, you may have distorted informations, because the last consumer will have to allege to you that no, this cost is not burnt by this, is not from here, it's because we have bought from this is a receipt, I bought this item from this producer at this rate, and how can you expect me to say? So you have that kind of argument, and he may be right, because he may need the product and he gets at a particular price. So these issues are issues that government needs to take them serious, address them head on. In some light, I see them trying to address that. But we have a problem in this country where politics comes before economy. But the strength of a political system depends on the economic strength of that system. But we want to make our politics strong, our politics. We will be able to move forward as a people.
That is exactly what we are desiring, that the economy should be stronger. And when it is stronger, the cost of living should be a bit more minimum for the consumer, the average citizen, to afford. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. We'd like to remind you that's the number to call again. Send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404. Once you connect with us, we'd like to know your full name and where you're calling from. Then make your submission very brief. And please remember to move away from your radio once you're connected to us. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello.
My warm regards to Dr. Ao.
Yes, warm regards to you. May we know your name?
I am No Ephraim.
Yes, No Ephraim.
Calling somewhere around Logo 2.
Okay, good to have you on the show, No Ephraim.
Thank you very much. From where I joined your program is about FCCPC trying to regulate prices within the shortest possible time.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I totally agree with Dr. Ao on his suggestions, because FCCPC are doing their work quite all right. They are doing their job, but to some certain extent, the enforcement cannot be carried out because the time frame in which they want to do these things is too short. For you to curb prices, hiking prices in the market, there are certain steps you need to take. You consider the cost of production, the cost of energy, give a healthy, in order to give a healthy competition for producers and the supply chain as well. Then you do as much as possible to avoid double taxation. Hello, are we together?
Yes, we are on.
Okay. Then above it all, insecurity is a very huge enemy of the economy. Today, our agricultural products have a very high price due to our people. In fact, the rural people that have been producing for us to feed this nation could no longer go back to their farmland. And these are some of the causes of these things. I absolutely have agreed with Dr. Ao in totality. And I thank you for the good work you are doing. God bless you.
Thank you very much, No Ephraim. We appreciate you for sharing your thoughts.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back shortly. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you, sir. My regards to the anchor in the studio.
Thank you. You speak so low. Could you sound more audible?
Okay, this is Engineer Augustine Ake calling from North Bank.
All right, good to have you join us, Augustine Eke.
Thank you very much. Actually, there are three things that are responsible for the issue at hand right now. One of them is insecurity, where farmers have been chased from primary production. The next thing is the removal of fuel subsidy. And then above all, the removal of the fuel subsidy prices, they are being insincere. They are not being realistic, they are being cosmetic. So it boils back to government doing what they are supposed to do as government.
And okay, this is, I think, for the FCCP, this is part of what they are doing for government, and we hope that it should yield results. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
My name is Yosunde Oshan, calling from Sukunya, Emma from Yandebo local government area.
Okay, you send it. Your radio is close to you. Please move away from it.
I'm moving away. So thank you for a very good program that you present this Monday morning. So to me, I have a very small and a little reason to give for this because I love how the presenter there communicates with us in a very cool way, in not back, can I say, backing the government or any other person. Every person he try to talk, they collect and the good speeches on behalf of us also. Mm. And what is influencing us to the cost of everything now? If it been government, it is government at the most not some people in the most people who have to control the price and the cost of living. Like in our agriculture, you will see there is something because of people who are traveling or if it being they do a little borehole for villages, we can do irrigation farming. Nothing will be in villagers in order to make the agriculture not to affected in the price of things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oshi. Thank you very much. Okay, tied to agriculture, so citizens believe that the issue of agriculture must be dealt with. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Okay, we lost connection with you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, thank you. My name is Bala Obakar.
The name is who?
My name is Bala Obakar. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you, but I am yet to get your name correctly anyway.
My name is Bala Obakar. I'm calling you from Wadat, garage about this number 18.
Okay, Barao Hakil, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What I want to say is so very important is that what the presenter was saying is quite able saying the facts about the situation that we have in this country. In order to the situation for it, is to be able to achieve an increasing productivity, which is the only guarantee for effective human being resources. We talk about management, and there is an indispensable need for a well-articulated manpower and development plan. And the way he stated that about what is happening for our own local made here, apart from that made.
Hello, Hakim. Your the network at your end seems to be breaking. We can barely hear you now. Could you change position?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, quite able. The situation that we have now is lack of energetic private sectors, most especially in Benue State here. You see, most of the things that we do here, we buy it from somewhere. That's transportation money and high pricing will cost. Like now, we're producing yam in Benue State, and you see the importers from here to uh, uh, other places. You see the price will be. In terms of that, is the presence of income. Benue State we get income. So the only things that we have, I just want to ask the presenter there the question that what are you going to do as a university lecturer? How are you going to invite the government, tell the government to industrialize Benue, to have something specifically, most essentially in terms of energetic private sectors? We don't have any company here to produce a lot. We have, this is a Benue State, a full basket of the nation. We have the good farmers in Benue State, but how are you going to industrialize? How are we going to industrialize Benue State?
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Thank you, Hakim. We'll try to respond to your concern. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. How are we going to industrialize Benue? As we go along, we'll speak to that. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, you are on, but we can barely hear you. So the line is still open, 0814-335-9292. If you are not able to get through to the line, utilize the SMS line, which is 0912-699-9404. Hello, good morning. Hello,
Yes, sir.
good morning.
Yes, sir. I'm Isaac calling from Aba.
Isaac who?
Isaac, yeah.
Isaac Aya.
Yeah.
Okay.
My regards to the guests in the house.
Yes, Isaac,
Hello.
we are listening to you. Speak to us.
Okay. The situation that we have in this country, or we are passing through in this country, is all about the policy making of our politicians also. Because we have this consumer protection. These are the kind of people, if government wants to know when people are suffering. In Nigeria, we have insecurity issues all over. In Benue here, even in Katsina State and every other part of the country that we know there are farmers there. The main problem of this high cost of things is about fuel subsidy. We know that one. Because you cannot tell somebody that is farming or that is into transportation that everything is high to cut off his price or whatever he's doing to earn a living. Like here, high cost of agro chemicals, fertilizers, and all those things, paying laborers to work in your farm. Then
Oh,
if you want to sell those things, you need to sell it in a price that you get something to go back for the production
okay,
or to go back.
Isaac. So it is your belief that if fuel subsidy is restored, prices of products will not be high again, or what? Because you say
Manageable. We didn't feel in all these high costs of foodstuff like that, like now. Exactly. Good morning. We
okay,
didn't feel about it. But
okay,
when this fuel subsidy issue was brought up, the whole thing, I heard in the radio once, a truck driver was telling one of the reporter that he spent 1 point something million to buy diesel from Kano to take stuff from Kano to Lagos State. And you check, it's true. And those are the kind of things that you will take such thing, use that advantage and do whatever he likes.
okay. Isaac, thank you. We must
So
thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Yes, thank you. We really need to be brief when we call in, please, so this was to allow others also have the opportunity to participate. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Producer.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
I am a sincere greeting to Dr. Ao. He has been pointed out all what is happening in Nigeria.
All right, we'd like to know your name first and where you are
My
originating
name
from.
is Alhaji Maji Abubakar.
The name is who?
Maji Abubakar Alhaji.
Abubakar. Thank you.
Yes.
Where are you reaching us from?
Okay. Where the lecturer from ESU has been pointed out is for the whole masses. The policy in Nigeria is that they are not ready to help the poor people. They are after their own personal interest. First and foremost, before fuel subsidy, where my immediate person who spoke about it now, when the fuel subsidy, things are very cheaper because those who are first person who goes from here to Abuja at that time, they are paying only 2,500 or 2,000, but now it's 7,000. Where I'm heading to is that now federal government has said that all the graduates should go for camping or orientation in another state. Somebody from Benue here to go to KB cost about something thousand naira. Preaching that they are telling them that they are not this and they grow people from Zamfara to KB and cover those who are posted from Benue that place. Now they are going to come back. It's not economic problem. Some of the parents don't have anything they don't have money to eat, but they went and borrow money to see that their children went for this. particular realm. So all these things,
Okay.
let them,
Okay.
let them,
Yes,
um,
Abubakar.
yes, my brother.
Before
So I'm getting to that. Let the subsidy up to June, they are still paying the subsidy, and
oh,
poor masses are suffering.
okay.
They should go back to God one, so that
Oh,
all of us will enjoy it.
okay,
Thank you.
Abubakar. Before you go, let me know where you called us from.
Okay, I'm calling you from Makodi,
Which part of Makudi,
Nakar,
please? Okay,
Nakar
Nakaro.
Road.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Abubakar. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for calling in. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The line for SMS is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. Hello, good morning.
They're in my phone already.
Hello, good morning. Okay. All right. 0814-335-9292. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Max.
Good to have you on Perspectives.
My name is Oko Moses. I'm calling from North Bank, Makodi.
All right. Oko Moses.
Yeah. I want to extend my regards to doctors in the studio there, and I want to appreciate them. They have spoken a lot. In fact, they addressed the whole system. But better still, I want to urge the
Hello, Oko
government.
Moses. Are you in traffic?
Yeah, I want to urge the government to, whenever they are deciding on anything, at least they should think twice. It's not all about imposing a price list on the traders. They should also impose a price list on our oil, because that's the source of our wealth, and that is where what we depend on. They can't just like impose a price list on the traders only. In fact, filling stations are also part of traders union and all those things. So they shouldn't just come and impose it on us. Because I remember my wife went to the village yesterday, bought yam, single yam, tuber of yam, transportation for tuber of yam is 200 naira, whether big or small. So yam of 100,000, she spent 50,000 naira for transportation. Check it. How much is she going to sell? How much is the shop rent? How much is the taxation on the road and all those things? So these are some of the things they should think. We should be sensitive enough before we decide over a thing. So that's my own submission.
Okay. Thank you, Oko Moses. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, Dr. Ao, it does appear Nigerians have a belief that if the issue of fuel subsidy is addressed, prices will go back to normal. But I will have your thoughts on that shortly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, my people.
Good morning. You are on. Speak to us.
My name is Dr. Sulu Ganya, coming from Bashiri Kukuruka government.
Okay, you sound so distant from your phone. So, Solo Aganyam, if you can speak more audible, that'll be fine. Okay, Aganyam wants us to hear his name, maybe. Okay, Dr. Ao, will the issue of fuel subsidy restoration alone address issues of pricing, exorbitant pricing, as Nigerians are believing?
Yeah, at some point Nigeria was regarded as a generator economy, because virtually everything that you need to do in Nigeria, you must have to power with generator. So it has that link to every sector. Even in your house, if I'd wanted to live comfortable and relax, you must own your generator. And even if you want to move from one location to other in this country, you must rely on PMS. So PMS has become an integral part of our living. So anything that touch with the pricing, touch with our welfare. Therefore, Nigerians have seen that PMS price has become a thorn in their flesh, for them not to have a comfortable lifestyle, for them not to have to live a kind of life they want to live. So they can't discuss this economy without making reference to the negative impact of increase in price of PMS that is on their lives. So whether it's associated or not associated with PMS, as far as they are concerned, this is where their problem lies. Because if they were not actually making much money, but they could use that little money and move from one location to another at a cheaper rate, if they were not actually making much money, but they can get 1 liter of fuel and put in a past my neighbor and watch a movie, the life becomes recreational and relaxing. But when that is no longer in existence, life becomes so extremely stressful. As to whether if you restore the old price of PMS, you will have life to normalcy. You see, you only see an economy is like a lion. I mean, like an elephant. It's from the side you are standing. The side of a consumer look at the economy different. The side of a producer is looking at economy different. And the side of a regulator is also looking at economy differently. And then the side of the empire, which is supposed to create an enabling environment, which is the government, is also looking at the economy from a different perspective, depending from where you are standing. So, if you are from the side of government, you realize that removal of fuel subsidy is inevitable. It's a given. The government will no longer be able to get resources to run the basic needs of the government. So removal was, and the necessary environment that needed to be around before you remove the fuel subsidy. Government needed to ensure, first and foremost, that it resuscitated its ailing refining capacity to be able to refine PMS locally and remove the price of PMS with the vagaries of international energy prices.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry, please.
To ensure that we buy PMS at a rate that is not quite exorbitant and we are producing it domestically. So with the coming of Dangote refinery and the coming on stream of Port Harcourt refinery, which we are told is starting production in this September, that would have been an environment with which fuel subsidy would have been removed. Government would have told Nigerians, once we get a local refining capacity that will accommodate our needs, we are removing fuel subsidy. That would have had some cushioning effect, taking away the pressure or the vagaries in terms of depending on the price of dollar to price our PMS locally. That would have been a very big difference. So that would have helped a lot in taking away the impact of the pricing on the local economy. However, they didn't do that. So they just announced unplanned for. And that has called for these several spillover issues we're looking at. What government did is as if it's on the height, on the tall tree, and on the ground, you have not actually chosen where you want to fall. You jump up there. Coming down, you are trying to see where you want to go and fall in a safe place. You must have to watch above before you fall in a safe place. So that's the challenge. Otherwise, any citizen of this country that understand the dynamics of this economy, understand how government revenues are raised and how they are expended, will tell you that subsidy removal was inevitable. It's something that must be done. But how it is to be done is a different ball game. It's just what Tinubu done is just like not when you go to the hospital and the doctor says the diagnosis that you have malaria, and this malaria needs to be treated, and you must treat this malaria using 3 dosage of artemether and lumefantrine injection, 1 daily. That's for 3 days before you be able to cure the malaria. But the doctor will tell you that no. Another they tell you that no, you carry all the 3 dosage and inject you in 1 day. How is your body going to feel? You end up collapsing and they take you to the hospital. That was what almost this current government has done to the economy. Yes, we knew we needed to remove subsidy, but we needed to put certain environment in place before we remove the subsidy. Without those environment, he removed the subsidy instanta, and that caused the kind of chaos we're seeing in this country. He has made his economic handlers looks as if they don't know what they're doing, but it's the manner in which they remove the subsidy that have created this problem and this spiral impact that we're feeling in terms of pricing of items. Certain fundamentals needed to be in place before he would have touched the removal of the subsidy.
I'm sorry to use this word. There's a tendency generally of Nigerians getting to exploit, tying it to any available opportunity. Sometimes in the past, when price of PMFs will go up, transporters, for instance, will increase prices. Eventually, the price of PMS may come down, but the transporters who increase prices to a certain level, that price will still maintain despite the petrol price coming down. So, in the general pricing of products and services, is it only as a result of removal of fuel subsidy that Nigerians have put prices at exorbitant level, exploitative in nature?
When you are a government, you must have to know some certain fundamentals. Prices generally tend to be sticky downward, meaning they find it difficult to come back. And that's begin from the perspective of wages. In economic theory, we say wages are sticky downward, but flexible upward. Wages want to be only moving forward. They don't want to come down. So when you want to legislate wage decrease, they want to reduce the price of wages. I mean, the cost of wages, the price of wages, how much we should be paid. It's a very big problem in that economy. Prices tend to mimic the behavior of wages. You know, human beings try to tie their level of income at a given price level. Therefore, as rightly said, when certain fundamentals will point to the fact that prices need to be increased, prices of services or goods need to be increased, even when those fundamentals have been shifted backward, meaning that prices of goods and services will also shift backward, you realize that prices will never shift backward commensurate at the rate at which those factors have shifted backward. Meaning, once prices have gone up, no matter how you bring them back, they will find it difficult to go back to the exact pre-existing condition that made them to move. So these are the issues, and that is why it is good as a manager of economy try to avoid factors that drive prices of goods and services upward, because once they get upward, they can never go back to the precondition that made them to go upward. So like you are saying, take price of PMS back to 200 naira or 197 naira today. Prices of goods and services in this economy will never go back at the same commensurate level at which they were when price of PMS you have reduced to 295 or 297 naira as it were. So that is how it is deliberate for government to set up central bank and give them core mandate of maintaining price stability in the economy. And that stability give confidence in the economy, give some level of resilience for investors to look, and consumers' capacity to purchase consumer goods so that the production continue in the economy. So direct to what you are saying, you know, humans naturally, we have the tendencies to excuse our behaviors and outcomes as a function of someone else's action. And that is why today, whatever happens to us, we are blaming it on fuel subsidy removal, we are blaming it on exchange rate devaluation or liberalization, as you may call it, which were twin major policies of this current government. Even though we had our legacy problems of insecurity, which the government inherited, legacy problems of corruption, which is still ongoing, legacy system of a bloated cost of managing government, cost of governance in this country, which were holding back our resources for investment in productive sectors. And above all, we said the legacy problem that was tying us down, which was a problem of there was no money for investment in infrastructure because of that. Price of goods and services has also increased. We're talking of minimum wage, talking of consequential adjustment that you are going to pay. On that, if a kilometer of road that you were constructing that was around 500 or 250 million, depending on the location, the kilometer of road now will almost double for you to give a contractor to do for you. So even the same money you have gotten so much, you realize that because inflation is on the rise, exchange rate is high, production materials are imported. Is it Calabar Coastal Road? 12 trillion naira. That was equivalent around our budget. Our budget was around 9 trillion as of that time. So when you look at these dynamics, you see how much this cost is going to. You hear very short kilometers of road going 40, 50 billion because of all this. So at the end of the day, you see that you're just grappling. So the basic thing is for you to ensure that the prices in the economy are stable. Stable prices with little income can be able to make households survive.
That is exactly the point where we should get it right. Stable prices to make an average household survive. Anyway, let's take some messages. We'll come back shortly. This one says, fact is Nigerians are naturally fraudulent. Fraudulent? Too strong a word. Okay, it's understood. Fuel subsidy removal and exchange rates are some of the hiking harmful production costs mitigating products manufacturing. But these Nigerians should be candid in pegging favorable prices of goods and services with minimal profit margin above being exploitative. So the move by the FCCPC is rightly and timely if they would get their indices right in pursuance of retrenching exorbitant pegging of price of goods and services in the country. I am on the Kura Jov from George's Quarters Extension, Makudi. On the Kura, thank you for your message. Another one here says, I am, okay. Okay, this is, okay, that's not related to our program. Let's take another one here. Good morning to you and the guests. Nigeria, a country that is rich in resources and culture, is facing serious economic problems due to several reasons. One major issue is heavy reliance on oil exports. When global oil prices drop, the country loses a lot of money, leading to budget deficit and instability. Corruption is another big problem, as it leads to misuse of public funds and discourages both local and foreign investment. Insecurity also affects the economy. Violence, extremism, groups, and conflicts between different ethnic groups disrupt business and farming, leading to food inflation. Okay, the message is too long. That's just an abridged version. We're able to take Ko Ephraim from Naka in Gwe West local government. Thank you, Ko, for your message. You should have kept it very short. It's a bit lengthy, but we have taken a abridged version. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Huh?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm so sorry. We may have to disconnect. That looks like a child playing with the parents' phone. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. If you call, be sure that you have business with our program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Engineer Peter David from Manchester.
Okay, Peter David, good to have you join us. Where your radio is close to you.
Okay. The problem is that everybody knows that common sense is a common sense, but common sense is not as common as such. Nigeria knows that their problem is fuel, and they produce fuel. They instead of restoring all the refineries and then creating more new ones, so that fuel problem will be domesticated, and then farming security is required over there, and then devaluation of the foreign exchange should not be a private issue. Government should be in charge of importation by itself. There are people very, very idle. So you hand over the foreign currency to people. It's causing confusion. They continue inflating. Somebody buys a foreign exchange from the government and at the same time sell at a very exorbitant cost. These people will buy and sell as they want. So you cannot regulate these prices in the market unless you make chances that you can be able to control it. Foreign exchange should not be a black market, should not be a backdoor business, And Nigeria should be entirely concerned with Naira, and the government should be concerned with foreign exchange. The valuation of currency is done by the living, is having confusion. So the best thing, restore your refineries, make sure you have security all over the countryside so that farmers should work very well.
Okay.
And we have to,
Thank you, Peter David.
yes.
All right. Thank you very much. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The line for SMS is 0912-699-9404. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives. Okay, good to have you, Isaac.
Thank you once again, sir. So, may we have a market economy? The price board control.
Hello, Isaac.
And
Are you there?
yes, I am. And a concession by a government and safety.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, you are on, but you are not coming through, so we will have to disconnect. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The line for SMS is 0912-699-9404. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to
The
name is Luca.
Dynamics. Now that our president has jumped on a very high point and is finding how to land, how can we now have an economy that will be revamped and not crashed as it has already crashed? What are we supposed to do? What is the government supposed to do in order to find a lasting solution to this problem? Thank you.
Okay, Luca, I didn't get your full name. You only mentioned.
Okay, my question is that.
No. We have got. Hello.
Yes.
We have gotten your question. Your full name is who? Your full name, please.
Oh, Luca Hinda.
Okay, Luca Hinda. Thank you so much. We have gotten your question. Thank you. Okay, Dr. O, let's begin with the poser by Luca Hinda. You listen to him. Let's address it pointedly before we engage with more.
Yeah. We had several callers who have generally alleged to several issues that were already discussed in the studio. Ephraim, Augustine Eke, Yoshinda, Bala also earlier asked her how to Lara Benue, Isaac Aya, Alaji, Babaka, Okomosis, and all the likes. And Luca Hindan asks, what is the government supposed to do in order to handle the prevailing economic challenge at the moment? Yes, that's what we have been discussing here in the studio, and to be explicit to what government needs to do at this juncture is, when you have an inflationary economy, meaning inflation is high, prices are high, people are no longer getting value for their money, what should government do? Government needs to enunciate policies that will reduce that. We're not a palliative economy. Government should focus on a productive economy, give incentive to sectors that will enhance production. We said, one, government in terms of food crisis, eradicate issues of insecurity, allow farmers to go back to their farms and deal with the issues of famine. Two, we made mention government identifying sectors that are taking much of our import bills, that we are dependent on exchange rate, and localize and encourage, incentivize domestic production of those goods and services so that pressure will no longer be on those items. Three, I have also itemized here, government should ensure low cost of capital for investors for them to be able to invest. That will guarantee that they're going to have returns on their investment. Three, government must have to now bring in another form of transportation, which is very important, the rail transport system, which will be moving our goods from one location to the other. That will reduce the cost of, depending on the cost of PMS in moving our goods and services, particularly our food items and processed products that are moving to hinterland, so that the logistics that is involved in terms of haulage, that someone gave an example of a trailer driver saying he used 1 point something million to buy diesel from Kano to Lagos. But if you have a rail line that moves from Kano to Lagos that can take this item at a cheaper rate, that price will also be taken away off the table in terms of being cost of the price of items we're going to buy. So all this, if we put together, that government needs to do, and we also made mention of government giving incentives in terms of tax holidays or tax rebates to industries that produce basic necessities that are essential to our survival. All this, if government begin to do, government is going to lower the cost of production in the economy. And when the cost is low, your little income will have value. You can be able to earn 70,000 you are earning and be able to use it effectively. For example, a few years ago, minimum wage in this country by the federal government was 30,000. A few years back, that 30,000, when that minimum wage was passed, that 30,000 could buy you a 50 kg of rice at 18,000, and you still have a balance of 12,000. We in 2024 will have a minimum wage of 70,000, and that 70,000 I cannot buy you a bag of rice, because a bag of 50 kg rice is 72,000. Meaning 30,000 several years ago had higher value than 30,000 was of higher value than, because you could buy 50,000 of rice with kg of rice with 18,000 and have a balance of 12,000 to do other things for the family. So that's what we're talking about. When prices are relatively stable, even though your income is small, it can still solve the problems that you need. So all we need are those policies that will ensure that prices of goods are reduced, just like what I have just mentioned. When you send insecurity away, now you look at the way of giving farmers improved seedlings, look at way of giving farmers herbicide, look at way of giving farmers fertilizer, and look at way of damming communities that they can do irrigation farming and not be dependent on rain-fed agriculture. That will guarantee food production in the economy, and that will guarantee that we'll have food security and the price of food will be reduced in the economy.
All right. So we believe those measures, the authorities should take them. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, the line is not coming through. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is 091. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Mpinega Abraham. I'm calling from Taka local government.
Okay, Mpinega Abraham. Which part of Taka are you calling us from?
I am from Chitaka.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Mpinega. Okay.
Abraham.
Yes, Chitaka should have a location in Taka local government at least.
Igbanyam house. Igbanyam residential area.
All right, Mpinega, go ahead, please.
Okay. Me too, I have something to say concerning what people are saying.
Hello, Mpinega. Okay, unfortunately, we lost connection with Mpinega. Mpinega is just advertising all his ancestral homes to us on radio. He doesn't want us to know exactly the question. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. I get radio.
Yes, talk to us on I Get Radio. May we know your name?
My name is Kizito Otile. I'm calling around Airways Boko Road, Makudi.
All right, Kizito. We are listening to you.
All right, Nathaniel, my is a question. You know, you introduced Doctor, I guess, in the house there as a seasoned economist. So please, I want to know that's the difference between a seasoned economist and then other economists. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Is that the only concern you have, Kizito?
That's just it. I want to know. That's just my question. Thank you.
Okay, Kizito. I suppose you are joking, but anyway, 0814-335-9292. That should have been our last call, but unfortunately, did not address to any issue on the program. Hello. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, please.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Mr. Benjamin, calling from Yagba, North Bank, Makodi.
Okay, good to have you here.
The only thing that can make things happen in Nigeria is to ensure that they restore this fuel subsidy. The president took a decision without making adequate consultation, without even making consultation. And now it has affected all aspects of life. All aspects of economy is affected. People are suffering. What will happen now? If prices of things comes down, it means the transportation of goods from one place to another place will be reduced. And people will be compelled to reduce it too. Prepare to reduce the prices of goods too. So what I'm saying in essence is that the government should look into it and make sure that prices of good, of fuel is reduced. Otherwise, we continue to have problems. The government is sitting on it. It's not ready to make any statement at all, which is very bad. We are dying. Nigeria should sit up. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. We shouldn't die. Thank you. And of course, that would be our last call because our time is no longer there. Dr. Ao, in the whole of all this situation, what are the cost-saving measures that consumers on their own part need to adapt at this time to cope with the exploitative prices, which the FCCP is seeking to bring down?
Well, as a consumer, we do know in most instances the existence of alternative items. So all humans are rational in nature. Once one item becomes to go very high, there's a tendency for a consumer to look for alternative. Except in the place of there's no alternative, that the consumer begin to say, I don't have a choice. So I know several persons now have started cost-saving measures of parking their vehicles at home and climbing Okada, in some instances trying to take advantage of shortcuts to move around. Exercising their leg at these bends.
Okay, I love the concept leg at these bends.
Yes, but those are issues with the realities you have to live with. If you are a family and your children are going to school, they are far away, bring them to schools that are closer home, that you may not necessarily need to pay transportation for them to go to school, so that you take away that aspect of cost on your menu. If you're the type that gets to sit and take one or two bottles every evening before resending home, discipline will tell you that no, I just need to take that only weekends or Sundays, so that I will save costs. So these are realities that we have on ground that we need to deal with. Because someone that was spending 50,000 on food is now spending 150,000. How much are you earning? To fuel a vehicle now is becoming something very difficult for households to do. Some only use their vehicles on Sundays to take family to church. So these are measures that we're adopting in order to survive. But it's not easy, to be honest. Deviating from your standard norm of life to a new one is not always a good thing in most instances, when it's look as if it's coming backward. So in essence, families need to sit together and agree on fundamental issues: what we need to eat, how we need to walk, how we need to go out, how do we deal with issues of clothing, health challenges. Unfortunately, that is an area that one cannot negotiate. Once you are sick and you get to any hospital, the price of drugs is not friendly at all, and doctors will simply write and ask you to go and buy. When you go to the pharmacy, you realize that, oh, you are facing a very big hair. You start calling friends, relations, they wrote drugs for me and I can't afford it. Can you assist me and all that? I've received several of those calls over time. So this kind of issues are issues that are very, very serious and challenging among us. So we need to deliberately, as a people, as a family, sit down and agree on certain cost-saving measures that can help us in our own peculiarities and make us have a better way of life. You know, happiness is not necessarily in material positions, but a state of mind. So in the midst of the whole difficulty, all just to try to derive ways that can make us happy, even though things are challenging. Economic-wise, I can see that this current government can actually be able to make some good gain out of the challenge that it have at the moment if it can bring down its mind down and calm down and look at these issues in more holistic manner. If we can address the issue of energy pricing properly, reasonably enough, so that we not suffer any of these high prices, it get to a better way of handling some of these issues. And on a general note about what we're talking about, high cost of goods and services in the economy, the consumer protection, yes, they are doing their statutory responsibility. That's what they need to do. But if they really believe that's the problem and they need to enforce it, they need to get enough manpower to be able to do that and do it effectively, so that they'll cover all sectors and spectrums of the economy. But if you would ask me, I would say the issue of the traders is just one of the smallest of the challenge in the spectrum of price issues. If you want to address that properly, you must have to start from the cost of producing those items first, because on themselves they're expensive. Then when you address the cost of producing them, you now address the logistics of moving those items to different locations and how much is the cost of the movement. When you do that, they can now face the issue of the traders at the lower end.
And that would be a fine place for us to leave it. I must appreciate an economist, Dr. Raymond Ao. He is a lecturer in the Department of Economics at the Benue State University. He joined us here on Perspectives, shared thoughts with us on consumer rights protection and exploitative pricing. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Ao, for your time on this program.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Dear listener, that's our program today. Join us on Wednesday for another edition. My name is Nathaniel Nongo. Have yourself a great week ahead. Goodbye.